Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, now it's time to get up in your world. We are about to go live right from Cave Radio Broadcasting, Volcano Underground Radio, the livest underground radio show that you will ever find, broadcasting on the internet. Is getting ready to go down. Is getting ready to happen. And I think you all need to go ahead and share, to go ahead and do everything you can to spread what you are about to see. The views and the opinions in this broadcast do not reflect any of those of Cave Radio Broadcasting. They are absolutely in the clear because we are going to say some shit that they do not want to have any form of ties to whatsoever. They don't want it whatsoever. And I'm telling you this right now, tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, as I'm trying to find my live stream, fuck it. Let's get ready to rumble! Fire burning in a mountain high. When it starts to blow and it starts to flow, yeah. What it do? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you are now tuned in to the livest underground radio show that you will ever find, broadcasting on the internet.
In your mouth.
I am your boy Volcano, and I'm sitting here in the studio with your boy TDG.
Your auntie favorite.
Also sitting here in the studio with your boy John.
What up, dog?
This is Volcano Underground Radio. We're on Cave Radio Broadcasting live and right in your mouth. Once again, It is Friday,
your tonsils.
bitches.
Right.
So
Get a little bit.
So we were just having an off-air discussion that we're going to continue right here on Volcano Underground. We were speaking about a young lady who happened to have killed her husband or conspired to kill her husband.
Set him up. She planned the whole thing.
Okay. And this man that she planned the killing of, he was a football player or
Basketball player.
I'm sorry. He's a basketball player. And they set him up to be killed. She is now put in a plea for 30 years.
Pleaded guilty. She gonna get 30.
Okay.
How old is she?
Now that I don't know.
Now, we led from that over to the fact that just recently in the city of Detroit, a young man was killed on the streets of Detroit in right off of Livernois.
Livernois and Davidson.
Yes, Livernois and Davidson. There was a car accident. Then there was a quick altercation. In this altercation, the one young Caucasian male was struck in the face and knocked out cold. And not only was he knocked out, he was beaten while he was down. And he was killed with brute force.
Brutal. Bad.
Well, they say the kick to the head is what did it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't see the full video of the actual beat. I saw portions of it, and some of it was blanked out. But there was a young Caucasian killed on the west side of Detroit by a young black male, and this man is still on the loose, and they are still looking for him, and they are looking with brute force as well.
Yeah.
Now,
I wouldn't even say that. I would just say that they are putting a lot of energy, more energy than I've normally seen when looking for a suspect.
Into a Detroit investigation.
Yeah.
Okay, now this is not to throw shade. Let's be clear, because It's got, and I see your ears perking up.
Listening to the conversation.
It's not to say it like, oh, where was that same tenacity, however you pronounce it.
Tenacity. Lord have mercy.
Tenacity.
Continue with tenacity.
There's tenacious, then there's tenacity.
Right. But there's no tenacity.
That's what you wanted. You don't want tenacity.
So
there's no feet.
So tenacity. both foots, my nigga.
Tenacity is what you wanted, though. So go with tenacity.
Both foots.
Yeah.
No.
You will wonder that, you know, if they would show the same tenacity when it comes down to all investigations when it happens in the city of Detroit versus this one investigation in the city of Detroit. So that's not to throw any shade. Mm-hmm. It's just interesting. And this is the subject that we were talking on. I'm not going to step any further because y'all was having a good exchange. Your take on the John was?
Well, my only take was what happened was fucked up.
Hella fucked up.
Homie didn't deserve that. I don't know his name off the top of my head.
I don't either.
But he didn't deserve that. That's not where I was going. I'm not going with that. I was just going with the energy with the news outlets.
Where they're making him out to be.
Yeah.
Let's use some of the terms in the. I think I said there, and not to say specifically, but an incident that galvanized them, or that is similar to what we could say is their Trayvon incident, where you feel like the media is making it look like, all right, this is. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but more than they are drawing a narrative that is not favorable.
Yeah, now I think that's
the
what
guy that did this.
I think that's what it was.
Well,
like the narrative that's being drawn up is this young man came in to plant flower. Like
some jokes.
It was
animal. Animal.
That's the wording that was used.
The picture
came through.
The picture that's being
Murdered
painted
this frail young man
is
from
that yes,
the suburbs from
that there's this young guy
yeah.
from Berkeley who's just in the city, who's on living noise in Davidson, minding his own business.
Yeah. And I think, and let's say about that, how the narrative, I'm not sure if everybody, like it seems like because they keep saying he's from Berkeley,
right?
They rarely say he was living here. He lives in the city. He moved.
He actually
to
lived
the city.
in.
From what I know, and I don't want to come off like I know every fact. I know just as much of it as the next person glancing across it in your timeline. But from the facts gathered, it appears that he lived in the city, and they don't know. Maybe he knew the dude or not. They don't know that. They cannot confirm or deny that. But he lived in the city. So when they paint the picture of this, the Berkeley native that was killed in Detroit, I can see why that looks like a purposeful a purposeful situation.
Bruh.
So I feel like what one would want if they felt like that is keep the narrative balanced or even it up. So if you want the narrative evened up, you're fighting for them to not make this dude look like an animal for his actions.
But
so do you really care that he is seen in maybe the worst light that they could paint him in?
I wouldn't care if every murder, well, I don't even, can we call did the shit, we see it on camera,
right?
So he's not a murder suspect.
And though it may not be murder, though it may not be premeditated, he did take that dude. His actions resulted
he took his life.
In that dude losing his life.
Because
I don't believe he meant to kill him.
And whether that's, that can be up for debate, when they do catch him, because they gonna get him. It's just a matter of when. And when they do, then it'll come out to, whether what his intent was.
Yeah, whether it's murder or
he still took his life.
You took that man's life.
And so, again, it's not necessarily about how they're painting him. It's about how they're painting him versus how killers get painted in other situations. It's about and more so victims, how victims.
Okay, now that's what I want. That's what I'm thinking. Your issue because victims, do you really care how the murderer?
No,
is
not at all. That's so it's more so
it's
about
really
the
bothering
victim.
you that they painting the victim like not authentic.
Yeah, like a unicorn, like it was just a unicorn prancing down Davidson. And somebody say, "Hey, you fucking unicorn! Like I'm gonna kill you."
Now, are you?
Because I'm an animal that can't control myself.
Are you worried about what that hurts, or are you worried about what that helps?
And sadly, that can be how it comes along.
But what are you worried about? Are you worried about what that hurts, or are you worried about what that helps? Are you worried about the fact that, like, does that really? Because they paint him, the victim, a certain way, does it make?
I'm worried. My concern,
a certain way.
My concern is that will be used as a catalyst, like what Kano said. Central Park 5 is a better comparison to me than Trayvon, but the outcome of Central Park 5 in New York, which was black dudes was on alert because they was being hunted after what happened. And you know what I'm saying, with that woman being assaulted. You know what I'm saying?
Does it not make it a better? Somebody lost the victim in both these situations lost their life,
and that's why I said
it's a better comparison than.
But my point is, I'm more so talking about the after effects more so than the actual crime that took place.
How it affected the community.
How it affected people who had nothing to do with it. So it was used, again, so what happened after the Central Park 5 when they put them boys in jail, that was used as a catalyst to strong arm and use guerrilla force. You know what I'm saying? That was used as an excuse. That is my concern.
And I haven't watched the documentary, so I'm not gonna.
And dude, like even you know what I'm saying, like after that happened, and not to get off into that, but like Trump put a op-ed in the New York Times when that happened. Like, yeah, they should all be killed. You know what I'm saying? So like, black men were on like alert after that happened because it's like, oh shit, they coming. That is my concern with the painting of this story is that will be used.
Real quick, I didn't know about this until lately.
Until what about famous. Central Park 5?
Yeah.
See, I knew about it. So I don't know if y'all who Ken Burns is.
Yes, he's
he does documentary,
but he does
PBS.
Yeah.
Ken Burns did a dog.
I know, right?
Ken Burns did a documentary on the Central Park 5 years ago. I want to say at least 20 years ago. It was in the 90s. That is when I found out about it. And so when I watched the documentary, I was like,
black men were on alert after that. What black men are you talking about? Now, I understand
I'm talking about the black dudes that were in New York at that time. It was like, yo, even more than normal, like, hey, you need to be on your P's and Q's because they knocking heads off out here because of what happened in Central Park. And that is why I said they killed the wrong one, because they're going to take, I personally believe, they're going to take that unfortunate man's death, you know what I'm saying, and use it to strong arm even more than what's normally done by your average police department. That's my concern. Again, what happened to him is dead wrong, regardless of what the circumstances were.
But
you know
it's going to create a narrative, but that it doesn't need to create.
Well, the narrative, the problem is that the narrative can possibly cause the strong arm. If it didn't, I wouldn't care about the narrative. But the fact that it could possibly do that,
flip it around. What would this be? What would the benefit if he was black and the person was white? If the victim was black and the assailant was white, how does our community? What would it? Give me the equivalent to that. What would it galvanize our community to do? Or would it? Like, see.
So you saying if the shoe was fit?
If I was in 10 Mile and whatever, you know what I'm saying, and I got into an accident and a white dude stomped me out and killed me, I'm sure that the community would be pissed. They would probably think it was racial, and it would probably be marches and protests and things of that nature.
But correct. It would not result in a
stronger police. Hell no. No.
But you're saying because that's what they would choose to use it for.
And that's what right. I hate
because
this,
we don't have the opportunity to put it back.
We don't have
behind some force or some type of physical.
We don't have the. I hate to sound like Stephen A. Smith. The cachet with the police department for them to do that behind one of us dying.
Okay. I get what you are saying. That will not happen. Anything is possible, yes. I do not believe that this incident is that galvanizing, especially when you get past the media spin.
Well, I said it's possible.
Yeah, and
he didn't say it's 100%
possible. But once you get past the media spin and how they portray,
but they've been spinning it, boy. They've been putting it
all
in.
Okay,
but this is more than normal.
So John, TDG, here's. Hold on, TDG.
You watch the news,
TDG. Here's how you know it.
Cycle. You would know
how long has he been? How long has this kid been a resident of Detroit?
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I know. I don't know.
Did he live in Detroit?
I don't know.
They said that he moved to Detroit.
What I gathered,
I haven't even seen the video,
so
I don't know.
To Detroit.
He said he moved to Detroit, but they
did not say how long.
They still consider him a Berkeley resident.
They keep describing him as a Berkeley native or Berkeley resident. Berkeley native. Because you choose your language wisely, and
Chicago
it just means
native,
he's from Berkeley,
Detroit resident.
That's all. So they ain't lying to you. But why are you choosing to describe him as a Berkeley
native? Which is
native
what he is getting at. Also,
resident of Detroit. So I get it. I get that. Yeah, I'm not denying there's a spin on it. Yeah. Is it a spin the likes that we have never seen? I cannot say
I'm not saying it's like that.
It ain't even substantially more than the regular spin.
It in the last, I haven't seen a spin like this in Detroit in a very long time.
Bottom line is it's wrong.
Also new,
it's
man.
Wrong that it's happened.
New news, man. It could just be hot right now, man. Who's to say that in next week no one will be talking about this? Because
no, they will, because they're going to continue it on. Because next is going to go. It's like the story is going to continue. It's going to go to the final when they final.
They're going to follow this all the way.
It's going to go all the way. Just like what we were talking about before.
Thing for the other side.
Just like the story that we were talking about before. That happened in the woman conspiring to kill her husband, as a basketball player, happened in 2010. It's now 2009. It's going to drag.
Something was happening. Yeah, it could.
So it's not going to be.
Have you heard about what y'all just telling me about her? I ain't know that was happening.
I did.
That's the first time. Okay, did you know that was happening?
I didn't either.
At first, so when you say drag, yeah, maybe did you fucking know it was dragging? You didn't know it was even there. So yeah, let it drag. Things in the system typically do. So yeah, it'll be there. But is it? Is this about to be something that? I don't think this. I
would hope not. And like I said, my condolences go to the family.
Yes. Oh yeah. Because that was
to the person who actually did it. I mean, come on, man. Shame on you.
Unnecessary. And that's another thing about appropriate force, man. Like even in that situation, I understand you failing to curb the compulsion to act out physically.
Well, see, that's like what we talked about last week. Remember when
punched him and he fell? How you kick a nigga that can't move? How you kick a nigga in the head? For that, you deserve everything coming to you. I feel that is that's more than just one could categorize that as a betrayal to humanity, nigga.
Somebody asked me today. I don't remember how many people were in the video, but there's multiple stories I've seen, and I'm saying that to say this. Somebody asked me today about Belial. And he asks us, like, was there a lot of, like, back in the days, was there a lot of gang activities? I said, no, it wasn't gang activities. It was just young kids.
Niggas out there.
Young kids out there
cliques.
Being wild.
It was homeboys.
Free.
They homeboys that didn't like
it. Wasn't
homeboys.
Really like, it was never really gang activity. Just the same thing with Chandler. It was never really gang activity. But what I explained it as was testosterone filled environment around people, men trying to impress females with alcohol.
Yeah.
That's
and
basically.
And
so this same thing with this guy doing what he's doing is a testosterone filled man stunting in front of his homies or some female just because of who he saw was weaker than him, or this accident just ensued.
I don't know about
and
all
he
that.
just took it. Sometimes it happens.
His homeboy, like,
It's just like the situation we talked about last week when Dean Beans was here, when he was saying he was there in the club and my man wanted to flare up because of the fact of he's there with some female.
Exist. Yes, those people.
These people
exist.
do exist.
Yes.
Is it happening?
Do we know he
here
was
in
that
this
dude?
situation?
It doesn't even matter. Once I'm with you objectively, even after you punch that dude, man, because I understand. And then let's just say you didn't know he was that frail, you was gonna knock him out, and he failed. Even then, you wrong. But I understand the lack, the not being able to curb the compulsion in my anger and rage to swing on you. I understand it. Don't agree with it. It's still wrong. Understand it. Once you kick a nigga that is not moving in the head, in the face, you have reached a different level of maliciousness that I feel is right up there with, murderers. If he dies after that,
he died.
Your fault, dude. You deserve everything that come with that. And it is sad and it's bad, and you may not have meant to kill him, but that's what appropriate force is. You don't do shit to people that can't defend themselves. Once you see you done won the fight, you won the fight. You let niggas sit. You ain't got to kick niggas in the head when they unconscious, dude. All of that, now you are an animal. You are a brutal, dirty murder, however they can spin it to say. I don't give a fuck how ugly they paint you. You are that. That's what you is. And I don't give a fuck how cute they paint him. I don't care about that. Not my team. Bolster your team. Do what you got to do for your audience. Do what you gonna do.
I wouldn't care either. Like I said, I don't
neither of
care
these are
either.
consequence to me.
If it doesn't affect how
the community and
policing continues, then fine. Paint the picture however you want to paint the picture. But my point is, there have been times in history, recent history, that when something like this happens, it is used as a catalyst for some other shit.
Right.
That is my only concern.
That is
my only concern. I don't care, dog that did it, who killed him. Throw away the key. You know what I'm saying? I don't have no tears for him.
Just like you have Maryland with what happened with Mike Brown. Just like you have other areas with what happened to some of these people. Imagine when it flips and then you have...
I don't think that is a good comparison because the best we going to get out of this is the spin that they put on it. That's it.
We don't know that shit.
For it to be a catalyst
we don't know that shit.
Type of political movement, it would have to be glaringly obvious that this dude is the victim that they want this spin to create. And it's not that. If it was that, you wouldn't have to say Berkeley native.
Time will tell.
Yeah.
Time will tell.
I agree with that.
Bottom line is, it was wrong. It was definitely a wrong thing to have happened. My major condolences go out to the family of this young man, and I hope they find a dude. I hope they, take him through the justice system the way that he probably should be.
As best it can.
Exactly, to the best of the ability that it should be. I hope that is what happens in this situation. I had something I wanted to bring up. I kind of wanted to try to get a form of health enthusiast or specialist in some way, shape, or form on to this show for this topic that I wanted to actually bring up. And it was brought to my attention. I was having a conversation, and the guy was, one kid was telling me, he said, you know what, you should take celery and blend that up and just drink that. And, I do it every day, and it's very helpful to me. It's helpful for skin. It's helpful for this, that, the other. And under the sun, there's so many different types of things you can do. It's keto diets. It's paleo diets. It's vegan. It's, you can go in all these different directions, but Daniel's brought to my attention about dieting by your blood type. And it really threw me off when I heard it, but when I hear it, it makes absolute sense. Every person is wired in many different ways, and you need to put the right things into you, and everybody's blood type is different. You can't match certain blood types with others. And these blood types work in ways, and they process food and what you put into your body in different ways. So it's basically comes down to a list of foods that you can or you should or should not eat, being the blood type that you actually are. And like I noticed for myself, if I eat anything carbohydrate heavy, chips, any kind of bagged vending machine type of deal, even a Rice Krispie treat or something of that nature, I get massively tired. Like I feel sluggish, I feel slow. I'm like dozing.
That's everybody. Yeah, chips are bad for everybody. Rice Krispie treats are bad for everybody.
Okay.
So so my thing is
even bread, even certain stuff. Like I noticed that. I mean, well, what it was saying is like some types are more keen to higher proteins versus carbohydrates or fats or anything. So some like if I'm type O, it'll have on the list like I can eat fish, but that means I can eat cod, I can eat like pickerel or whatever else, but not catfish or smoked salmon or something of that nature. Same thing with vegetables. There's certain vegetables and everything that I should be able to take in and certain that I should stay away from. Dairy, probably stay away from that as a whole, but focus a lot more on the proteins and the fiber and everything. Like, and to know that information and to know that, this is a way that you can actually, a route that you can actually take, it can be beneficial if it's 100% true. My biggest thing was your doctors won't tell you what your blood type is. Now, I know it sounds far-fetched to you.
Keep going, I'm listening.
But I just recently went to the doctors, and they recently drew blood. And because they recently drew blood, I called my doctor, and I asked him, I said, what is my blood type? And she said, why? And because I want to know. Well, is there something wrong? I just want to know. Well, we don't test for your blood type. You tested for everything under the sun, from whooping cough to tuberculosis to cholesterol to everything. You mean to tell me you did not test for my blood type? Well, no, we don't test for your blood type. You will have to specifically request that, and I don't believe that your any insurance covers it. So not only are you not going to tell me, even if I wanted to, my insurance wouldn't even cover it. So what is this big time key behind my blood type that you can't tell it to me?
You think maybe you just got a piece of shit customer service rep? Maybe they don't specifically test for your blood type. You do have to pay
I looked it up, and it's true that a lot of people go through the situation of their doctors won't tell them. And there's supposed to be some form of liability. That's false.
And you're saying that they're keeping it from you, so
yes, it's in your file.
Not make yourself.
It's in.
Better
you go to your.
your
If you go to your doctor,
diet.
if you go to your doctor and something happens to you at your doctor's office,
you just saying they're trying to keep you sick by not telling you your blood type.
I didn't say that.
But basically roundabout.
No,
so they won't tell you, so you don't.
I'm saying they won't
diet.
tell you,
and they won't tell you. You're saying they won't tell you because you. Can
I'm not
go on
saying.
this diet.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying they are withholding information that you want for whatever reason that they want to.
When you say withholding, you just mean it's hard to get, right? Because there's no way you will be refused at all angles.
I looked up what the reasoning behind it was. They said doctors won't provide it to you because they know that if you actually go to the hospital, they will check it in the hospital. Like if you need to go to the hospital, where they might have blood on deck and might have to do a transfusion and everything on deck, they will do whatever testing at the hospital.
And
so therefore the doctors won't do it, and then they don't want to be liable if you get your blood type wrong and tell it to somebody else wrong.
So you don't think that they have the info and won't give it to you?
No,
think they really
have the info.
So you know the doctors
I also
the
know
info.
they won't tell the info.
So how do you think people know their blood test? You think everybody learns it from going to the emergency room before transfusion?
No.
So how do you think people learn their blood type?
9 times out of 10, if they go to give blood, if they go to actually get it physically tested on their own.
No one's doctor tells them their blood type.
When he told me that on the spot, I called my doctor on the spot, and they would not give me that information.
You should probably change doctors.
I called.
Unless why they wouldn't. Why, you believe them to have it and refuse to give you
I believe them to have it and refuse to give me my own medical information.
She told you we have it, and we just not going to give it to you.
She did not say. She said we did not test for that.
Which could be a truth. They did not test for it.
Okay. You test for sicknesses.
You're about to say all of this other shit.
You test for
we did not do the one test that would tell you your blood type.
You don't check. Like, I can go buy a kit at Walmart that would tell me.
Do it? You cannot do that. Why don't you go do it?
I can, but if you already know, why won't you tell me?
Obviously,
a doctor has
enough that you can go get that.
A doctor has to know in case something happens to you.
And they got to tell you if they got it. So what makes you think
something
this doctor is risking his practice to have your blood type?
If I go to the doctor and something happens to me while I'm at that doctor, and I need blood while I'm at that doctor, you think they not going to go and say, what's his blood type, pull my file, and be like, oh, and then go ahead and do what the fuck they got to do? They already know.
You think that is the case, that you have it on file there.
And they won't tell you.
And they don't give you any reason for it.
They won't tell you. And they will dance around that shit as much as they possibly can.
You probably need to call someone higher on the food chain.
Who?
Than whomever you talk to.
Your actual doctor.
Yeah, your actual physician. Speak to him and let your actual practicing physician tell you to your face.
Now, I'm with him on that.
I ain't got your blood type.
I would, if you have a doctor's appointment and you're talking to your doctor, not his assistant, not the receptionist that's taking the credit card at the front desk, your actual doctor, and say, doctor, what is my blood type? I'm pretty sure he'll tell you what your blood type is.
And if he doesn't, it's going to be because he honestly don't know, because they don't test for it, even though they test for all the other shit.
If they don't test for it, that's fucked up. Like, how is somebody, and the one, like,
why would they need to?
Yeah.
It's like the simplest form of information that you could get.
That doesn't answer my question. Why would they need to?
Because they need, if they're providing care for you, medication, they're prescribing things for you because of your rate. They ask you every last piece of surgery you had, everything all the way down to the past. If you have any kind of prosthetic limb, anything. How long have you smoked? What are you taking?
They got it on file.
Everything under the sun. You mean to tell me the one piece of vital information, which is your blood type?
You still haven't told me why it's vital.
Because they need to prescribe things for you, and some things may not work with particular types.
To say what he's saying, yes, it is a very important part of your medical history. It's a very important part of your medical makeup that, yes, you should know, and doctors, anyone prescribing you medicine should know.
They prescribe things like blood thinners and blood pressure medicine.
If there's something
and
that
all
they
the rest
look to prescribe
some
that
of these
will
things
have a difference based on your blood type, they should find that out.
But that goes back to, again, the person that told you was not your doctor. And the person that told you cannot prescribe you medicine.
And have they done anything with you that would be of any consequence to a different to your blood type? Meaning, have you been prescribed anything, or have you had any issues that would make a difference versus your blood type being one way or another? Like, have they had reason to know what is your blood type? Is what I'm saying.
They should automatically need to know that off of the fact that they are prescribing medication.
But see, that's the thing.
That they prescribe may not be.
But see, again,
a difference.
I hate to be like ultra specific, but again, we're going back to one person. All of this is based off one person that is not a doctor. So, like, I agree with him when he said, ask your actual doctor.
Yeah, I'm with that.
I'm banking that he'll have.
Now, if your actual doctor tells you, then you might have a problem.
And if he says we don't, say, hey, doc, can we get a blood test? Can I get a blood test? Can we give me a blood test so I can know what that is? Like, do you think they'll deny it? Like, where is this conspiracy theory coming from that they hiding your blood from you?
Because of the fact that I actually called them, the office, whoever I speak to,
blood
and they did not tell me.
Little Volcano.
Like, the thing is, they call you after you do blood work. They automatically call you, and she says it. Everybody gets a call.
Given blood?
Yes, I just did.
Do they tell you what your blood type is?
No, have I? Oh, you mean have I donated blood? I have not donated blood since high school.
Did they tell you what your blood type was?
I don't recall.
If you donate blood, they got to know what your blood type is when you donate blood.
Yeah, I don't recall. Like I said, I don't remember.
A long time ago.
But you have 50, no reason to believe that your blood type would not be on record, though, right? So your blood type's been on record. You know your blood type is on record, right?
On record somewhere.
Does your mom know your blood type? Usually, mamas know the blood types,
and that's what like. I haven't seen my birth certificate in a while. I'm gonna need it. I haven't seen.
Are you even a real person, dude?
I just arrived here and was like, I'll take it.
You could be a clone.
I bet money your moms know your blood type.
I think she's in the chat.
Yeah, you should ask her if she knows your
blood
type.
What's my blood type?
Rocky Road.
Rocky Road. That's fucked up. Fuck y'all. Your blood type is Heinz.
Also, I'll say this because I know that you have had some bad experiences at the same doctor that I go to, and also that Skiz, rest in peace, that he went to. I also believe doctor offices, I won't say doctors specifically, but doctor offices, there are times when they do treat patients differently based on their health insurance.
Now, I didn't go to...
You didn't go to that one. Okay, you went somebody different.
Now, the reason I bring it up, like, I just had to take steroid pills and everything because I have carpal tunnel. The reason I was wearing a wrist brace, I got carpal tunnel in my hand. So to take down the inflammation and everything, they gave me the steroid pack to take. You start off with 6, then 5.
Oh, you work your way down.
You work your way on down. Right, exactly. So, but the big question he was asking was, are you on blood pressure meds? Are you on this type of med? Like, you need to know this form of information.
Yeah, you need to know that information for sure.
Why do you not need to know the actual blood type before?
Are really going to make a difference based on the different blood types? Like, I'm not sure there
you know
are
what?
things
and
that really take that
I'm
into
not
consideration.
I'm not a professional. I didn't make
blood,
the English language. I didn't make up mouseses and mices.
I think that if you talk to your doctor, he'll tell you your blood type. It sounds like you had a bad experience with an office rep who was probably having a bad day or probably got a bad attitude.
Or didn't know what to tell you at that point.
Or was ready to go home.
Yeah, all of these things can be true.
Because dude told me, he was like, your doctors ain't gonna tell you. I'm like, word? Let me check that.
Who told you that?
The same dude that told me about dieting for the blood type.
This nigga talking to Dr.
Stop
CD.
listening to everybody, man.
Like,
stop listening to everybody.
Stop eating for 10 days. So, yeah, it was...
Your doctor will tell you your blood type, man. You'll be all right.
Okay.
But to me, the blood type diet sounds a little sketchy.
It's a bit much.
It sounds like a loophole to eat some shit that you really want to eat.
Like I was saying,
because you're saying, well, my blood type said I can eat it.
How many things are different for what? Tell me something that a O person can't do that an A negative, AB positive person can do. You know, like what medicines can they take, or what diets
food?
Can they go on,
what's the difference?
I think that there are.
Or why not just go vegan?
You could, but some people vegetable and that's the reason why I came up.
Are there
because
certain vegetables that negative?
And the reason that
process
this is the reason why I came up, because the kid that said it, he was like, "Yo, I take and blend not broccoli, celery all the time," and he was like, he does it too, and my man was like, "No, I actually don't. If I take in too many vegetables, I get bogged down. So because of his type, that's why he's saying
Because
like
of his blood type or just
vegetables.
body type, his metabolism.
Now I will say that
He's like vegetables fuck him up.
Is it his blood? Did he say it was because of his blood
Yes.
type? That nigga could be tripping.
I think now I'll say
He
this.
said before he said he didn't really know about it at first, but he said studied it, figured all the stuff out about
you in
himself,
the gym?
and he's much.
Y'all working out?
Because of that, he's
Were
much
you-
better.
were you
No,
in the gym?
who wasn't?
How are you around all of these dudes giving you this advice?
He's at work.
Yeah, at work.
Yeah,
I think
are these
when-
people-
I didn't necessarily want to put that on blast. While
What, that you have a job? We didn't say where you work or what their names were.
Exactly.
Do they have similar body types?
I would say my man is in. I would say from the looks of it, he's in tip top health, especially for his age.
Is he? But not similar
Basically
body
saying
types.
is all
though.
y'all niggas fat. That's
No.
what he was trying to say.
No, I want to know
No,
if you
the
getting
same type as
if you
me,
getting
no.
tips from something that worked for somebody who is in the same situation versus somebody that's
I would say my man looks 60.
that
but
ain't fighting your fight.
my man probably 60, but he looked at least 45.
Again, and also here's another thing that your doctor can tell you: what you can eat, what you can't eat.
Yeah, exactly.
Talk
I've
to your
never heard
doctor.
of blood types being so different that certain things.
No,
I
but
think if you have-
there is stuff documented about it, and there are
When
books
my-
and everything on it. You can research it yourself.
Yeah.
I'm not. I didn't. I
It
didn't
could
say.
be, yeah.
Oh,
I don't know.
this-
I don't know.
I didn't say
When
that
my grandmother
this is
was
the
in
end
the
all
hospital,
thing.
there were certain leafy greens that she could not eat because of, I want to say it was too much chloroform or whatever
Yeah,
it is
yeah,
that's
yeah.
in the leafy greens.
Chlorophyll.
Yeah, chlorophyll. And if you're on blood thinners, you can't eat that shit.
Right.
Now that ain't nothing to do with blood type. That has to do with the fact that she was on blood thinners.
Yeah, the medication does something that
Yeah.
like foods. I agree. Different foods affect the body differently.
Yeah, but okay,
And
so
your diet can affect your
but
body.
why
differently.
are
Is
there
it because
people
of the
like
blood type?
there's certain foods like cilantro. There's certain people that can't stand the way because it tastes almost like soap to them.
That's
and
me.
others.
I can't stand
It tastes like
cilantro.
metal.
But to
Yeah,
me, it's great.
That shit is terrible to me.
To me, it's great.
What
and I
is
can
in it
use,
that makes it taste like that though?
it's
I
just a
don't know.
vegetable.
It's not a cilantro.
It's a herb, basically.
It's a herb.
All right, it's
But see,
something
that,
in
like
there.
I'm allergic to avocado. I'll throw up instantly.
that shit just nasty. As
I have
fuck
a
to
but
me.
I have a latex food allergy. It's the
You
texture.
allergic to latex?
It's the texture of the food.
You allergic to latex?
You got. I am actually. That's why I just
But-
prefer to
but
go-
think-
You just be trying to get pregnant by people. That's all. You be trying to get pregnant.
but think of these things like these different foods when they go into your body, they absorb into your stomach, they absorb into your bloodstream, and some stuff is probably blocked because of the fact they know your body is not going to be able to handle it. And avocados and stuff like that are on lists that should not be ate by people who are specific types. That's why I break it down to like people with
I
certain
agree. Certain
food
foods,
allergies.
yes.
Certain
I was watching something on Hulu where
Like
they
those
were,
get
fugu
anti-ref-
fish. Like there are certain fish people eat that got fucking the venom still in it.
Yeah.
You know, outside of the people that do it for the sport of it, so I'm
Dog,
eating, you know,
there's
outside of
a
that, there
video.
are people.
There-
There's a community that can ingest that. Like people
There
can
is a
eat that and
video
still
on
be,
Facebook.
be cool.
I don't know if this shit is
Oh,
real,
yeah, I don't
but
know
it
if-
fucked me up. They're at a
Oh,
restaurant.
That's fake as fuck, man.
Is it?
The chicken,
The chicken
I don't
is
know
on
the
the
plate,
fucking plate, bro.
Do you believe that? Your common sense would tell you that's not gonna happen.
But no, you ever seen a live chicken get killed?
how
Yes.
long you think the chicken
I don't
that's on
know.
that plate
I don't
is
know.
killed,
I don't
man?
know. I don't
So
know.
you still think the nervous system is still
I didn't say
kicking
that.
right then?
I didn't say that. All I'm saying,
And
I'm not
it's
saying
reasonable to
Wait.
they're at a they have a plate of raw chicken, and the motherfucking joint
First, why
starts
the fuck is
twitching,
that at the table?
and motherfucking hops off the goddamn plate onto
That
the
can
floor.
happen. I've seen that happen with frog legs.
First off, you don't serve raw chicken.
They were about to cook it. They weren't gonna eat the shit.
That animal was. They had taken. That was bones and stuff. They had prepared.
Have you ever
whatever
seen
that
frog
was.
so what did they
salted.
do? Did they put like firecrackers in it?
It's
What happened?
fake.
It's not.
So what is it's a
fake.
robot chicken?
It's CGI. It's whatever you want to call
CGI?
it.
CGI.
Hey, y'all don't think
Really?
people can make? You believe every UFO video you've ever seen?
Oh man.
Even the ones that look real good.
No, sir, I do not.
Okay, then why you think they? Can't
I don't
make
believe
fake
somebody
chicken?
CGI a chicken leg jumping off.
I've seen chickens dancing with gold on, man.
Okay, obviously
that
they weren't
realistic.
dancing.
They can make things look realistic.
I got to show this dude. I got.
Do you see it? Are you watching it?
No, that ain't the chicken. Hold on, I'm gonna move it in.
I've seen the frog leg shit too.
I'm putting it up there on this screen.
Hey man, I will not deny that. Yes, after you cut an animal, it can still move, especially when you put salt on it. Salt triggers the nerves in it. When it's killing it, it's like they're seizing up. So to you, it looks like the legs are moving, but that's really the salt interacting with the nerve endings and shit seizing up and doing that. It's a science behind it. It's real shit. What you saw on that video.
Look at this shit.
It's a chicken that was already gutted and on a plate.
These legs are already gutted.
And they didn't start doing that until she started pouring the salt on them. The salt is interacting.
Because they're like, this shit hurt.
Yeah, so even though that's dead, that's the physical contact of the chemical of the salt hitting those nerve endings that's doing that. If you
so what
see
I got
the other
chicken jumps off table?
Yes. Just type that in. There you go.
Look.
It'll come up too.
Right I'm gonna put it up there.
Shit fucked me up, man.
Keep typing.
Chicken jumped off the table.
No.
Hold on.
Off the table cadence. Stop. Yeah.
Right here.
Yep. Fuck me up.
That is a gutted piece of meat.
That is not CGI.
That is fake. It could be a robot. They have done many things, dude. You think that's real?
Chicken.
You think that gutted piece of meat
Robot
is walking
chicken.
off the table? That's not a chicken. That's not a freshly cooked, a freshly cut and dead chicken.
Hey, look at it. It's reaching. It's like,
Dude.
get me out of this bitch.
I've seen robotic things do that, man. Y'all, oh my God. The internet is made for y'all. For people that believe that is real. Stop doing that to yourself, man. Fake news.
You think it's real, John?
I don't know. It fucked me up when I saw it, though. Like, I instantly lost my appetite when I watched it.
What has happened there? So we agree that's not a whole chicken.
I'm telling you, I don't know what the fuck is going on with that.
What you think you looking at?
I don't. What part of I don't know? I want to talk about that.
It's
when
real?
my segment come up?
Because you think it's real. She said you don't know what you're looking at. So why would you assume it's real?
I want to know why it is so hard, and this is not towards you. This is in general. Yep. I want to know why it is so hard for people to say, I don't know.
It's hard to accept an I don't know when you've already given a conclusion to the
What
thought
conclusion
process.
did I give?
You said it's real.
No, I didn't. I said
you
it fucked me up.
We only arguing about this because he said it was real. It's a real chicken. I said on the shit.
No, I said what I saw fucked me up. I don't know if it's real or not. But I was thinking about this way before.
That shit look real to me.
All right.
I want to know why.
Fake news.
So, matter of fact, let me read this definition that I posted today. And the definition is of, and I think I've done this before, but it's of cognitive dissonance. And so, it says sometimes people hold a core belief that is very strong. When they are presented with evidence that works against that belief, the new evidence cannot be accepted. It will create a feeling that is extremely uncomfortable called cognitive dissonance. And because it is too important to protect the core belief, they will rationalize, ignore, and deny anything that doesn't fit in with the core belief.
John, that's not you?
No, it's not me. So, I want to know, why is it that it's like riding the Titanic when you know it's sinking and you refuse to get off.
Like, this ain't sinking.
And it's like you plant your flag and you're going to hold on to whatever your belief is.
You don't believe it until it's like
till it's too late.
Yeah.
Till it's too late. And it's like it would be so much easier to admit either I'm wrong or I don't know. I don't know. Or I was wrong.
I'm quick to say I don't know. If I don't have the answer, then I don't want to make it up.
But it seems like
I will elaborate and like try to give an educated guess, like if that's what you like want or need.
But I think that
I don't know.
We live in a time. Use the president for an example. We was talking last night,
right?
And I said, I can understand, although I didn't agree, I can understand why one would have voted for Trump over Hillary Clinton.
Okay.
I wouldn't. I didn't. But I could see how the thought process would lead someone to do that. What I can't understand is after 3 years, been in office 3 years, I believe, how someone could still support him today. It's almost like being in an abusive relationship and you just continue to make excuses for your abusive partner.
Well, to some people it's not abuse. To some people,
you're right, and it's not abuse because just like people who are in abusive relationships, they create a narrative in their head that makes it okay. Instead of admitting, I was wrong. I made a wrong decision. You know what I'm saying? I fucked up.
Nobody's going to do that.
Nobody's willing to do that because of this cognitive dissonance to the point where it's like, okay, I'm just going to ride this shit. I'm going to ride my wrong decision all the way till the fucking Titanic is at the bottom of the ocean. Rather than just admit, I shouldn't have got on this boat. And it's just amazing. But it's always it's always been like this, but it seems like it's getting worse.
Right.
Because I feel like this is where I'm going to agree with TDG to a certain extent. With the internet, people have been more adept and more creative at masking their wrongness, if that makes sense.
It does.
Yeah, it does.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's like you could never, it's damn near impossible to get someone to admit they're wrong today.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? Now, before the internet, a motherfucker will fight you before they admit they were wrong. You know what I'm saying? Or they'll insult you. Fuck you. Look what you got on. Or blah, blah, blah.
Knowing 100% that they are
dead wrong. But now, with the internet, it's like people have become very creative with arguments that protect their wrongness.
Well, see,
you know what I'm saying?
Well, that's like somebody, he told me, he asked, like, don't judge by just one little piece of stuff that you hear. You gotta know everything about it, know the full story. And to me, like, I'm a firm believer in your knee-jerk reaction, your reflex is who you really are. Mm-hmm. And it's like being in the room with a person that's drunk. Like, he's the only person that's drunk. He's feeling good, he's comfortable, and he's going to say exactly whatever the hell he says or whatever he wants to say on his mind because he's carefree, he's reckless. But when he finally sobers up, when the story continues on, he finally sobers up and somebody tells him like, oh, you did this and you said that. And he's like, no, I wouldn't do that. Like, but the reality kind of came out. Like when you got loose and we got into your comfortable position, you said everything that you wanted to say. So now when it comes down to the full story, that's when you get a chance to elaborate and try to cover up all the bullshit you said.
Right now?
I'm speaking in general. It's not just about a supporter. Yeah. It's not just the human condition. Okay. You're going to say your knee-jerk reaction and the first thing you say out of your mouth is exactly what you felt.
Not true. I don't think everybody is trained, is programmed to give honesty right off the bat.
Okay, so then that goes back to his point. Then why don't you just say, I don't know, or just not say anything?
Honesty and ignorance are two different things.
They are. But if you don't know what you want to say, if you don't want to say something that's going to be like, like fucked up, why say it in the first place?
People need to learn how whatever you call it, their reflex or their knee-jerk reaction, they need to know how to program themselves to make that appropriate to the level of information they have. You can judge someone knee-jerk, but it needs to be, you need to have an adequate gauge. Your judgment needs to reflect how much information you have about the situation. So if you ain't got much, if you only have very little information, you can knee-jerk judge, but that judgment should be very broad.
You need to lead. You need to lead with that, because I mean that goes back to what we were talking about my man who got killed. First thing I said was, I don't know everything that happened. You know what I'm saying? And so, to what you're saying, if you don't have enough information, or you don't have, you need to make it clear what you know and what you don't know before you speak on something.
Exactly, you should.
Your judgment should reflect that. Your judgment should reflect a clear amount of. If you ain't got that much, whatever you say behind that should not be anything that can only be
outside of what you know.
But the sad thing is,
you don't have
people
to say,
don't want to always be that tactful. They don't want to always. People want to be
and
loose.
That's the person that
like
being
free.
the one that
like,
bring drama to you, or talking about the drama. They
got to the point.
Don't have the solution.
This is more of this information age, and the more and more we've learned, the more and more knowledge that we've gained about different things, thanks to the internet and the broadening of information that can come in. And some people feel like they've been lied to in so many ways, so they like, I'm just going to do me. And so they look at somebody who is such as, the president and what he does, which he's just doing him, and they like, I want that. Regardless of, what he's saying, he's just loose. He's just wild. He's just normal. He's human.
Because they want that too.
He shows that he doesn't have tact. He shows that he's a person. Like, what people want to actually be.
Those are the excuses that the racists use.
Exactly.
So,
and then they say, well, you shouldn't have free speech.
That person doesn't exist. Let's not say that person doesn't exist. But for the context of your argument, I feel like you're talking about the person that masks their racism with that. They say, oh, no, I like that he speaks
they don't mask
his mind. I may not agree with it, but I like that he's honest and he speaks. Yeah. That person...
They like
What's making you mad about that person?
They can relate to a person that's open and free like that.
That still does not judge the content of what you're getting. And people that say that, that's how you know that who they are. Because the person that says, I don't care about what he's saying, I more rather care about how he's saying it. The fact that he's so free and he just tells you what's on his mind and he speaks his mind. That's no reason to support somebody that they speak freely.
To you.
Even to them people, it's no reason. This is how you can tell that that's just a catchphrase that they're using. No one chooses who they support behind how they talk. You choose them by what they say. They use the how he's talking line to mask the fact that they cool with what he says.
Exactly.
Too. So don't believe that these people are just, innocent.
I never said innocent.
Not to say you said they were innocent, but the phenomenon that you think is just somebody that he's polarizing because people like what he says and the average person like somebody, that can be a truth. The person that says that in defense of supporting him that is not why you chose your president, because he talks loud. You chose him because you like the person he is.
There's a lot of people that chose him feeling like he's
quality.
the voice of America.
No, it wasn't.
Some people chose him like, I just like that he's just wild. Scarface even said it. He was like, he's just old and
Scarface rich.
He said
Scarface
what's
rich.
the word?
I bet you
he
Scarface
said he's
hung
lawless.
out with Donald
He's
Trump
rich
before.
and lawless.
You think Scarface hung out with Donald Trump before?
I don't know if he hung out with him or not.
Reasonable to believe.
Is it possible?
Rich people, yes. Rich people hang with rich people. So it's not going to surprise me that he would side with Donald Trump. Him saying it's because he just say what's on his mind. No, I don't believe that's why Scarface
he said he liked them because he was rich and lawless. That's why he said
more believable than him being honest and speaking his mind. But is that a reason to support somebody?
I mean, they're all kind of saying the same thing.
Okay, my point is, don't believe the people that you think.
And the reason I keep saying,
he didn't get elected because a lot of people like him.
The reason
honest.
I say to you, because your principles and everything tell you not to support a person because of A, B, and C, whereas somebody else is saying, I'm going to support the person because of D, E, and F.
That is not a falsehood. That person exists. That is a very small number of persons. Most people do. Are you not? So the other side of that is you saying the populace is a person that does not base who they support by the context of their behavior and their political views. You're saying most people do not take into account the political views and personal behavior of the
I'm not going to say if it's more or less.
How they're saying.
I'm not going to say if it's more or less at whatever particular time point. I will say that there is enough for that idea to be effective.
No.
I think that most people vote for the candidate that they see themselves in and represents the beliefs that they believe. That is what gets people elected.
Correct.
And people are scared to tell you that they made a choice that is not popular or agreeable to you.
And a lot of business
so
reasons.
They'll tell you, I just like that he's
I disagree
outspoken and
with
likes
that.
his mind.
I disagree with that.
I take
poor
that
people. Poor people outnumber the rich, and poor people voted for that man, and it had nothing to do with business.
I'm not going to say who these a lot of people are, if they're rich or not. I would say that the ones I heard of that spoke about their financials and business and things that have, went in a positive direction because of him are somewhat well off.
Lying.
If they are
Unless
lying,
they're millionaires.
That person is, they are millionaires.
If they're
that
millionaire, I can see
I'm
that.
not putting the
They're the
finite
1%.
number on.
That is not a lot of people up there.
I'm not putting the finite number on how many it is.
If they got a job,
exist.
if you got a job and you said you voted for him for business reason, you a liar.
Whatever you call rich, we're going to put the line there. If you ain't rich, it's no reason why his policies and his politics would generate your support. If you are a racist, though, or a dude that grab him by the pussy, or a dude that likes gold on everything, if you you forget Donald Trump was not a pariah before this. People like Donald Trump. He was a very
that's my thing.
Popular dude.
If you see and notice that what he's doing is separatist and or racist or however you want to call it.
He is a racist amongst other things.
However you want to call him.
Do you think he's a racist?
I think he is an idiot.
Do you think he's a racist? Wow.
Oh, do you think he's watching this? Do you think the FBI is watching it? Is that what's scaring you from saying it?
I think he's an idiot.
Do you think he is to quote Skiz, yes or no? Do you think he is a racist?
Yeah, I think he has a lot of
Why did it take
no,
and you still didn't just say no and leave it there? But for you to even give that, it has taken so much.
You know why? Because I believe that Trump believes in money.
Oh my God.
And regardless,
that's
for him with money, it doesn't matter if it's black or white to him.
When it comes to money, you right. But then when it
that's
don't
why
come
it's
to money,
hard for me to just say he's flat out racist.
So you don't believe
I
he's
think
when it
he's
don't come to
an
money, then what?
idiot.
I didn't ask you if he thought he was an idiot, though. Why would I? When I ask you a specific question, and you answer a question I didn't ask?
I think he's a rich Caucasian man who doesn't give a fuck.
Is he a racist? When it don't come to money,
I asked you none of that. You're answering questions I didn't ask. Why won't you just
do you not want to say it?
Racist.
Stop. You were pressured so tough into that.
I wasn't, though.
You were. Why didn't you?
Why did it take me to ask that question
racist?
10 times to get you to answer it?
Here's why. Because I don't really want to put definite labels on folks.
Oh my God.
I don't want to.
How many examples
I don't want
would you
to.
need before you gave that label? How many examples of racism would you need before you gave that label? How many times he got to show you?
If he showed up and slapped me in the face like fuck,
and that's what it takes.
Yeah, that's what it takes.
Okay, you reaching right there. What if he told four black women to go back to where they came from?
For the fact that it's a problem problem.
On a national level, he told four congressmen go back to where you came from.
That was extremely fucked up.
That's not racist.
He's being a idiot.
Is it racist?
He's being a rich white idiot.
Is that action racist?
Answer his question.
Yes.
So if that action's racist,
well, why are you struggling to get that out?
How does it fail to make the person that made the action racist?
So, okay, his interaction with Kanye, is that him just using him as a pawn?
Yes.
Okay, good enough. That he is.
What the fuck? Like,
I'm like,
His interaction with talking all these black people before the shit, him talking with all the black preachers and all the rest of that shit. That's him using them.
That's him using. Yes.
Exactly.
So your argument would be that wasn't him using it. That was him reaching out to the black community.
That was him
and actually having black friends.
That was him being
wherever you are.
That was him
wherever you are.
Skiz,
can you see this?
And it was
that was him taking care of business
to the black community.
That was him being
an honest
a
person
businessman.
that wanted to share an opportunity.
That was
with another
him
culture.
being a businessman.
So you know that can be true, and he can be a racist. Both of these.
Yes, he can be.
So why do you keep focusing on that business part when we're only asking about the racist part?
Is he a racist? Yes, I believe he's a racist.
So why you keep bringing up the he's a businessman shit?
Because, I mean, look at what we got him.
They make for good content.
No,
It makes for good content.
No, bullshit.
You a Republican,
That was Euro stuff.
How much money you make, nigga?
Bullshit.
Give me $100.
No.
That ain't got nothing to do with it either. That's bullshit.
Now, I don't believe in...
He rich.
I put it like this.
You got money.
I don't...
He got money.
I don't...
That ain't got money.
He got money.
I don't know. I will say this. I don't support 90% of the things that he does.
What's the 10 that you do?
Yeah. I am all for him trying to make sure that we have businesses here in America for American
But he's
people.
not trying to do that, though.
Okay. And we see that. And we see that. We see that.
So you agree with nothing
you have.
You see that in the evidence.
So what 10% do you? If that,
That
is
was-
not
so-
that was
so
it.
that-
So that don't
So,
count.
all right, so now
So you don't agree with
from
shit.
this day forward,
you
now
go.
you understand you don't like Trump at all. Then, right?
I thought this is what he was going to do, but he came in, didn't do that. So
I'll
fuck
say
it.
this. I'll speak to that. I do agree that I'm
not gonna vote
as
for
a
him. I
machine
didn't
that
vote for him.
runs.
I'm not gonna vote
don't
for
try
him
and clean
again.
it up.
Yeah,
No,
it's
no.
late.
America
It's too
as a
late,
machine
dog.
that runs does benefit from a business mind being at the helm. I ain't mad at that. The deficit is real. You know, I understand that you can benefit from a business mind being at the helm. Is that nigga a businessman, the
No.
likes of which would be successful at the helm of any big business? As many times as we've seen him fail at his own.
No.
All he's done is fail.
There is
Yes.
no reason. There's no credible reason why he should hold any office. The only reason he's there is because people like Volcano look at him and see something that they can get behind.
I never
Even
got
if it's
behind.
not any-
Wait, hold on. I never got behind him.
Maybe not got behind,
to
but you failed
defend
to hold
him.
him accountable for all the shit part of him.
Okay, I feel you on that one.
So
If that's what you, if that's the answer that you was looking for, yeah, I feel you.
That would kind of indicate that one has somewhat of a soft spot for him.
No, I don't have a soft
So
spot
why
for
the
him.
defense? Why the unnecessary defense?
I mean,
of
I
it?
taken that's for any person, regardless of what they did. If he punched the kid or not,
We've
I
got
mean,
enough
What
evidence.
the fuck are you
Yeah,
talking
dude.
about?
He's just trying to go down. We can cap it off right here. We got enough evidence that this nigga is a piece of shit
He is.
behind pussy grabs.
He is.
There's new footage of him
I agree.
at a party with what's the Epstein dude?
The one that's in jail now?
Yeah, there's footage. Do you watch Comedy Central? Trevor Noah, the Daily Show. It was a segment he was doing where they have footage of this nigga. First off, they played him saying, just denouncing that he's ever been cool with this dude at all. I hate him. I don't like him at all. Never. Next clip is him at a party that he has facilitated with all young girls just sitting out there dancing and just like predatory sharks. Him and Epstein and some other dude is just sitting there glaring at these chicks. You know, he whispering in his ear. He doubled over laughing, just looking at some real nasty dudes, looking like some real nasty dudes. Then it goes into a montage of him dancing with the chicks and just being an all-around creepy dude. And one of these clips is him behind the chick doing this while she laughing in front. You see the president of the United fucking States smacking this chick on the ass a couple times. I couldn't believe I was watching that, knowing that that is the president of the United fucking States, dude. If that person can work this system to get to its highest level, we are not only in such a broken system that I don't know how you fix this from the inside. You got to break this hole.
You have to tear it down and do something different.
And that was the whole point behind him being there.
And that's why you should never believe anybody that gives you an excuse.
It should not have been Hillary versus Trump in the first place.
If they give you a blanket, a broad reason why they support him, i.e., he say what he want, that means they agree with something that's so ugly that they can't tell you that's why that's what it is. So anybody that has ever told you
there's a lot of Trump supporters in hiding that will not
they're
admit
racist or something worse
that they support him.
Yes, there's a lot.
I want to know why you struggle to say that man is a racist.
Kano making money now, dude.
That
he ain't about to mess up the bag.
That ain't got.
Kano ain't about to mess up the bag.
That doesn't have anything.
Like you literally refuse to answer the question. Literally.
Okay.
FBI.
Why? I just want to know why.
FBI, listen.
Because I didn't want to place a label on a person without like physically or personally knowing. All I'm going off of is I'll go off of one, media spin, two, shit he said.
No. You have years of behavior. You have years of behavior.
Okay,
hey,
you got to meet him.
Tell me good.
You got to meet him in order to know he's a racist.
Tell me of all the years that you've known Trump. Tell me something good that outweighs any of the list of bad shit that you know about him. Tell me where you have anything good that would equal that to where you are so objective.
I listened to a interview he did with I think it was Oprah, and this is years and years ago. And at the time, he sounded more on a, regardless if you want whatever label you want to place, a Democratic or Republican, he sounded more on the Democratic side. He sounded more like he was for the people.
He was a Democrat.
And
one could categorize him as a Democrat before he started running.
So at one time, it seemed as if he had like a good outlook and a direction he wanted to take.
His profile in the public was a lot different.
But here's the truth. Here is the truth. He did grow up and come up through an age where there was segregation, there was separation, there was times where people were discriminated against and all that stuff heavily during his prime time. Almost like our prime time was Snoop and Pac and all the rest of the stuff. His prime time of that was get to the back of the bus. All the rest, same thing. All right. So let's
say that to say what?
I say that to say that it is in him and within him to have learned in that particular moment to be that type of racist, separatist, discriminative.
And you think people change? People can't change.
I do believe that some people can't change. What's that?
Do you think he did?
I believe that he finessed it enough to go ahead and get through the cracks to be what he is.
And now that you see, he just told 4 colored women to
go back to where you came from. That is a problem.
That does not indicate to you change
that
you think might have been
that
made
is a
has
problem.
not been made,
that he
is still that person.
That is a problem.
And that is current information for you.
That is a problem. Only reason I struggle to put him the label of 110% racist because I know if somebody that was of color that could bring and put some money in his pocket, he all for it.
Does that stop him from being a racist?
Doesn't stop.
Does that stop him from being a racist?
No.
Okay.
Actually, it doesn't.
So why would you bring that up?
Because it's the same. It's the same.
What? You say I'm wrong. See, this is what we're doing. Just say I'm wrong.
I'm not gonna say you're wrong.
Yeah.
I'm not.
You're wrong.
I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
That could be
for you.
You see how cognitive dissonance because you don't agree with him. You don't, but you don't want to say no. I'm wrong, and I was just mistaken on giving him my support.
So even if I do, me saying that I'm wrong, it's still not gonna. I'm not.
And he won't.
Nah,
I'm not.
You're going to ride that Titanic
Why would I
to the bottom of the ocean.
Why would I be accountable for what the fuck I said?
Because I already said what I said. So like to take it back now.
But you don't believe it. But you don't feel like that, though.
I don't feel like what? That I'm wrong?
That you support in any way him.
I don't believe that I support him
in any way.
No, because just like what was said, he has not fulfilled what he said he wanted to do.
20 minutes
which was some of the things that he said. Like some of the things I was like, when I said 10%, yeah, but he still hasn't lived up to that same 10%. There are other things that he has like somewhat lived up on
racist,
that are no. I am.
I said he a racist.
He is.
Okay.
Yeah, he is, and he's an idiot.
Yeah, man. So let's
calling him an idiot is like saying the sky's blue.
Let's stop trying to make him
I think what
good.
I think what it is I think in some way, shape, or form, from beginning to now, he has great intentions, but his mouth and his ideas.
You think he actually had good intentions?
He didn't have no intentions.
He didn't even think he was going to win. He didn't want to win.
This nigga was not trying to do this.
I never knew that.
And
I never knew that.
America was so gullible that he said,
that.
"God damn it, I can do this."
It's like when you it's like when you don't think you can pull the bad bitch and you pull and you be like, wait a minute, that's all it took.
Hey.
And then you
recognize, damn, I could do that 10 times.
Right, I could do this forever.
I voted enough juice to do that.
Yes.
Watch this.
Like your boy Stay Woke voted for him, but he was like riding with him hard, and I was on his head like, why are you riding with this dude? Like, what is it that you?
And this is a story. I ain't been to Hollywood or nothing, but the story is this: they was about to cancel.
He does not get my vote.
He was trying.
He does not get my support.
This
I'm
nigga
not
was
wearing
trying
the shirts
to drum
or the hats.
Fucking buzz to get more money from NBC. He was going to run for president, quote unquote, run for president, so he could drum up. Not only that, but it was that he was trying to lobby an opportunity to have a Trump Tower in Russia or some shit. So if he could boost his profile to being, because you got to get permission directly from the top of the government in Russia, for him to be able to say, this person is important enough to be able to have this. I'm going to run for president just to show them that over here in my land, I am this great and revered person so much that I could run for the highest office. That was the motivation behind it.
Or to get another building?
To be able to have a permit to be seen
He's an asshole.
To be seen as a dignitary or someone higher than just the creator of, the reality show.
Right.
And he was doing that. It was just an up for profile. And now this nigga said, damn, this is working a little too good because people are so stupid. I can use the same tools I use for reality TV to generate votes. And that's what happened. He got just enough to be able to manipulate the Electoral College easy enough to get the win.
I think this whole shit was a circus. I think this whole shit was stupid. It's the outcome and everything was dumb. Yeah. Like, trust me, like I don't have support. I don't like the dude whatsoever. To place like certain like names and everything on it is a little bit different. I mean, call him what you want. I mean, that's fine. That's fine. I've had folks say stuff directly in front of me, and then at the same time, I'm like, you know what? I appreciate you showing me your true color.
But let's stop. Let's
but
stop.
I'm still gonna do business.
Let's stop trying to make the animal look like an animal. All right? In two separate cases, as we've talked about earlier today. Not to say that you are in that, but we was talking about he is, once you get something so ugly as his racism, does it really matter what other minimal goods he has? Like, is there really anything else that he could do to counteract the bad that is?
Well, it goes back to
that he is.
If you say, if you go off your numbers, which is 90-10, if he's 90% piece of shit, racist human being, and 10% he does good things, like does that, like how much weight does that 10%?
Yeah, it really doesn't hold much.
How does that get a supporter? It doesn't. It shouldn't. And
I never call myself a supporter, though.
Oh, I'm not saying that you are the supporter that I'm talking about right there. I'm just saying that he's got a bunch of supporters.
Your rationalization
that rationale
like
is the rationale they use to rationalize
their support
of him.
I didn't want to call him a racist because I never met him.
Focus on the good.
That
10%,
sounds like a
little
Trump
minuscule
supporter.
10%. When you recognize the other 90% that he ain't shit, but you still focus on that 10%.
Dog,
and that's
you
what you
really
give your support
said
behind.
you can't call him a racist because you ain't never met him.
Yeah, I do.
That's amazing.
I respect that. I respect that you're not wanting to judge somebody so tough that you really don't fucking know. I give you that. But at a point, when they give you a certain amount of information about themselves, are you wrong to generate just based on the information you got? Generate a profile for him.
No, I'm not.
Need to see him in a clan hood?
So you've got a lot of information about this dude.
Correct.
It's not wrong to generate a profile. And you're saying the profile that you've generated, you can see
I think he's
10%
I really truthfully
that can garner your attention more than the 90%
truthfully believe that he's the shit with the Central Park 5 is fucked up. Okay? That's a big time red flag.
What about the fact that
the
he
shit
didn't
that
want to
go back to where you came from?
He had a
that's
standing mandate not
flag.
to rent to ethnic people.
That's a big time red flag. I mean, but there's black people that do that also.
That's your boy, dude. That's your boy. School. Hey, man, you gotta talk to your homeboy, man.
You sound like racist white people. So that's what when you know what happens.
That's what rich business folks do.
No.
Stop. They discriminate from ethnicities.
They do. There are black. Yes, they will.
So you think that is an acceptable business practice?
No, it's not.
What does one have to do with the other is the question. Because that's what white people do when you bring up slavery. You know, black people own slaves too. Are you that guy?
No.
You just were that guy.
You kind of sounding like that guy.
You're that guy.
Well, I'm not going to say, they did also, but
you just did it.
No, listen.
You just
there are instances where that has happened.
I'm not going to dispute that, and I'm not going to make it seem like
but it's not wrong.
That's not a valid point. Yes. No absolute anything exists. Yes, bad people of color exist too.
They do.
That is the truth.
But what does that have to do with Donald Trump?
That doesn't justify.
We are speaking about what you bring it up for. Why are you giving the pass
cognitive dissonance
behind a community doing something? You say, black people do it, so it's okay for Donald Trump.
I didn't say people as a whole community.
You know what they say
when some that have.
You know what they say when cops kill unarmed black people? You know what white people say? Black people kill each other
anyway.
You're
that's
them. That's you. You just did that.
You are those.
No, it's not.
That's
you
different.
just did that.
That's different.
We just brought up this man racist practice. You said, black people do it too. Same shit.
Instead of judging in the moment right there that action, instead of saying
you're the
I'll
black
take a stance on the action right here, he did that. That's fucked up. Instead of you saying that's fucked up, you went to an excuse.
It is fucked up.
It is, but you didn't say that.
It's fucked up on all levels. For each one of them.
You appeared to look to excuse him by this example.
No, I'm not
black
excusing.
People do it too.
That's what you did.
I know you didn't, but to offer up that response, it's typically in an attempt to excuse the.
And you know that
it's not in an attempt.
So
to
what did you bring it up for?
Because depends on all sides of the fence.
But what do we talking about?
And I am here.
I get it. I think you get it too.
Yes.
You get it. But that's your boy.
Dude, you're the black on black crime guy.
No.
Yes, you are.
No.
It's okay.
No,
it's not okay actually, but it's kind of fucked up.
So what he got to do? How much? How much racism you got to see come from him?
He got to lynch a black woman on national television.
Do I believe?
And Kano be like, I don't really believe that happened because I wasn't there.
Is that CGI? How we know that happened?
Like the dancing chicken.
Yeah, that's the dancing chicken.
Does he have
fake news? That's a
does he have racist
woman.
habits and tendencies that are reckless and just the way he acts? Yes, he does.
And that does not make one a racist.
If a nigga got rapist tendencies, does that make him a rapist?
Hey, better question.
Has he raped anybody?
Better question. If he got rapist tendencies, yes, he's raped somebody. Yeah. How do you generate rapist tendencies without raping somebody?
Racist tendencies make you racist, bro.
How else do you?
We said rapist.
So how do you want to see your racist manifest a racist?
Okay, so
what it take for you?
If a person looks real rapey, all right.
No, I didn't say. No.
I said racism.
We didn't say look.
I said manifest.
We didn't say
racism.
look. No, you ain't low, nigga. We ain't say look.
What is rapist tendencies?
Tendencies.
Okay.
Tendencies.
You take coochie without
which is violating
consent.
Which is grabbing women by the pussy.
It's not like okay.
Which
all right.
your president did.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
I don't really know because I
don't know him.
Wait, hold on.
I ain't met him in real life.
Hold on.
So man,
might be cool. do?
Maybe he handled the pussy. Maybe they wanted him to grab him by the pussy.
What
like
was
that.
she wearing when he grabbed the pussy?
Yeah, and then was she asking for it?
Yeah, she was asking for it.
She was
Why
asking
was
for
she
it.
there that late
Goddamn
at
woman
night?
just standing there with her own pussy.
That's
The
you.
nerve of a woman.
You're that guy.
That's
God
fucked
damn,
up.
Kano.
It is fucked up.
Yeah.
It is.
You check yourself, man.
Hey, women are not your plaything. Okay?
No, they're not.
Yeah, have some
No
respect,
means no.
Kano.
So, the whole idea behind this shit.
Nigga, just say you fucked up, dog.
Okay.
Let the air just say, you know what?
Because
Let's end the show on
fucked
a
that up.
high note.
I fucked
up. Thank y'all for listening. God bless you. Good night.
But no,
The next sentence there.
yeah.
That's a fucking problem.
That is a fucking problem. B.
Yeah.
This nigga's lucky. But I will say, like, look, is he a racist? Yes. Does he do a lot of fucked up shit and say a lot of fucked up shit? Yes. Okay. Is he a fucking idiot? Yes. Is he a businessman? Yes. He's all these fucking things that we're talking about.
But you only struggled to say one of them.
Is he on?
You didn't?
Regardless.
But finish the statement.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Because there's a butt's coming, and then you about to praise this nigga.
No,
and I
I'm
want to
not.
be ready for it.
I'm
Come
not.
on.
Because there is no praising a man that does some of these things and just like feels like,
Except
oh,
the business part
there's
of it.
nothing
He's a
wrong.
businessman, though, right?
I think that some of his tactics is, I'm not going to say good business, is for
He's a
business
good
purposes.
businessman. This nigga failed
No,
80%
I
of the
didn't say-
time.
I didn't say
this
he-
nigga did not. This
I didn't
nigga
say-
got
I
$1
never
million.
said he was a good
I think $1 million or $3 million from his father initially. Shacked that off, and every other. Any business, this nigga had a casino that went. How many times
All of it went
casinos
bust.
go belly up?
Didn't he have stakes or something like that?
This nigga had so many businesses
Nigga had a
that
fucking
failed.
school.
There is
Yeah,
nothing
all of them failed.
outside of the fact that
Everything he's done
one
has
of your
failed.
successes was a TV show that is in the national eye.
That's it.
Because of how much that has raised your profile, you're able to generate other things from that, and that
Bottom line, I know
is
that
a
he
good
was
thing,
he
a good
was
skill
put
to
in,
have.
he was put in a place to do everything they could to wipe out what happened with the previous president. Wipe him off of the, try to wipe that
He's put in
slate
a
clean.
position to do that, and
That's it. That's what he was there for. That's all it was. Just a cloud, just to put this cloud and to put a sticker over the fact that Obama was even there. That's all he was for.
and that was their agenda.
Yes,
Whoever they are, right?
whoever they are.
Yeah, they don't exist. That nigga abused America. That is social media.
That was
That
your
is the
president
internet.
originally, though.
Can we have that conversation though? Before we knew
Not
this
really,
nigga was a
because we only
racist.
got,
Before
like,
we
a minute.
honest, I know, yeah, right. But before we knew he was a racist, niggas wasn't mad at Donald Trump.
But
Donald Trump was a pop culture favorite
For most,
He was.
until people recognized. Like, I didn't know he failed as much as he failed either. Like, when you are in the public eye that long, you got
if he didn't become president, people would still be putting his name in rap
Well,
songs.
no,
Yes.
no. Well, that stopped with the birther shit. That's when he put his true self
and I'm not sure
out there. When he,
Nah, I didn't see that.
Are you
I
sure
didn't
we
see the
would have
birthday
seen
shit.
all the shit we didn't see? Would we have seen him talking about grabbing him by the pussy?
No. I'm not
Like,
talking about
they
that.
dug
I'm
that shit
talking
up.
about
We
I'm
wouldn't
talking
have
about
seen
is
this.
when Obama was in the
Oh, when he tried to get his birth
the
records
tide
and all the rest of
turned
that
against
stuff.
Trump.
Yeah.
Once he started trying to pressure Obama to produce his birth certificate.
Yeah.
And saying that he was born in Kenya. That is when the tide turned for him with the masses. A small group of people knew he was filed for 40 years.
That started getting the audience that put him in. I think
Well,
that
yeah,
was
that started
that
with
started.
the base. But I'm
Yeah.
saying, but there were people before that, like he was on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yes,
So-
that's what
and
I'm saying.
my-
Like,
so
he's
that's
not a
my
hated.
point.
He wasn't a hated
So
person.
he
before
wasn't,
this.
and I'm agreeing with you. What I'm saying is, with the people who weren't his base that liked him, that stopped when he started with the "Show Me Your Birth Certificate" shit.
Okay, then I'll agree. Yeah, the people that we are talking about that
fucked
just
with
knew
him.
that fucked with him because of his
Right.
his profile in
Yeah.
pop culture.
Because
yes,
he was
when they
rich
saw
and
him
he
take
had
that
bitches.
picture, yes,
That stopped with the birther shit.
and he picked up.
And he picked
Every
up-
other person
yeah.
that wasn't in hip hop, that wasn't in the pop culture,
The liberal- yeah,
he picked all of that up, which was the bigger. That was the bigger
Well, yeah,
bag.
'cause
That was-
they're the
that's
majority.
bigger, and when you going for what he was going for, that's the smart move. So even to give credence to what you were saying, how maybe he's not the racist that we are pronouncing him to be.
He definitely
more
is.
than someone who just disregards racial sensitivity. Like, and you really can't make those decisions without knowing somebody.
I think the hype.
It's still a profile.
I think
you
the
still
hype
don't know
stepped
somebody,
in.
so I feel you.
I think the hype stepped in, and he lost track of who he originally could have
he
been
sacrificed
or was,
that profile.
and
He
threw
knew what he
all
was
that
doing.
away and became
To get
what
old
he
people
is.
that sit on the porch.
Exactly.
He sacrificed.
He knew
that
that's what
profile
he knew.
to
That's what
generate
got
the
him there,
profile that
and
would
he
win the
exploited
presidency.
it. But if he had a chance to turn on them too, he probably
He
would.
will if at any point it becomes
already
profitable.
has.
All right,
He already
whenever it
has.
seems to be profitable.
But
yeah.
they don't care because of cognitive dissonance. They refuse to admit, oh, wait a minute. He lied. Everything he promised us, he lied. He has not fallen. He's not followed through on anything.
If you are
he's
poor
promised.
and you voted for that dude, you need to look into yourself and see why you voted for him. There's nothing that is important. There's nothing honorable or good that is important to a poor person that he shares. There's no way that a good and honest, wholesome, honorable poor person, and I'm giving you these descriptive words just to say it's a good person. There's no reason a good person that is poor would support him.
Right.
In any reason.
I want to thank y'all for being tuned in to Volcano Underground Radio. Livest Underground Radio show you ever find broadcasting on the internet.
Life.
Coming directly from Creative Radio Broadcasting. We had a whole lot of stuff that we had to go over. I want to thank everybody that tuned in on the live stream and as well on the Creative Radio Broadcasting site. We will make sure we see y'all next week where we bring back a whole lot more information, a whole lot more topics, and get you prepared for the next show that's coming up. And by all means, please tip your waitresses and look up because there's a fire burning way up in the mountain high. Look up in the steam, smoke, or ashes. When the crater starts to blow and the lava starts to flow, then you will surely know it is a volcano. Yeah, oh yeah.